Here we go. I think we might be on. Hey, boys.
Greetings.
Hey, girls. Welcome to the TOA Storytellers, everybody. My name is Todd, and I'm joined by Rick and Jonathan. Hey, Rick.
How you doing?
And Jonathan.
What's going on?
Hey, JD, show your camera around. That's so cool. So you're in the...
I'm in Regis in San Diego. I don't know if you guys can see it. Petco Park. You can actually see it right there.
It's a nice day in San Diego. Look at that.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, beautiful day.
All right, so for our podcast listeners, you won't see that.
I just signed a contract so I'm going to start working from these office from now on. just so you know when the bill comes.
I love that. Everybody, check us out on YouTube to see what we're seeing right now, because we're on Zoom right now, okay? But we're also recording it, so we'll have the visuals on YouTube. And Rick, you are where today?
In our beautiful office in Brea, California.
Beautiful. I love that beautiful logo behind you. Look at that.
I know.
Yeah.
I love it.
So on today's podcast, in addition, everybody at home knows, in addition to being a court reporting agency, we bring you work comp news and interviews so you can be informed about what's happening in the work comp industry. If you have a deposition, please check us out on our main website. It's www.toddolivas.com. Or if you need CEUs, please check out TOAuniversity.com for our latest seminars. Or if you just want to listen to this podcast, leave us a kind review. That's very much appreciated.
Subscribe too. If you subscribe, that bumps us up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Smash that like button, as they would say. Right?
5-star review.
Smash it. And a 5-star review. So on today's podcast, we're going to talk about a motorcycle chase. That's my little zinger on the side. You guys didn't know about that one. But the motorcycle chase. But also a bus driver is charged after a video showing allegedly that contradicts description of his injury. What?
Her injury. It was
her injury.
Lady driver.
Thank you for correcting that. COVID claims are in the county drops in January. This employer can set aside the default in contract dispute with comp carrier. If I could type, I would also speak correctly. Anyway, and also a hospital worker charged with 24 counts related to comp fraud. And of course, we'll round it out with a pharmacy owner who pleads guilty to conspiracy. So that's all up today on TOA Storytellers Podcast, News Edition. But speaking of TOA University, by the way, we have an event next week, February 23rd. Tuesday. How are we looking on that?
I hope we look good.
Yeah.
Comb my mustache and be ready. We're doing great. 223 people registered so far. We're going to open up extra spaces for those that want to register.
Yep.
ToddOlivas.com/register.
Yes.
One CU live webinar. So it's a live webinar. There's going to be raffles and good material.
Still have a little bit of space in there. So, we're looking forward to that. So it's a great way to start off the year. We like to have events out in the future, and so this is the first one for the year that we've done. We spent January planning it, and now it's already here. And hopefully, we can roll out CU classes at least quarterly, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think we could roll out a few more than that? So that would only mean 4 a year, but we could probably squeak in maybe another couple. I think somewhere.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Absolutely.
You see my screen?
Yes.
So I pulled this up because I thought for sure this is Rick Castro. High speed motorcycle chase through LA County ends in Anaheim. You don't live in Anaheim, but you live near Anaheim. But I was watching this on the news last night, and that guy he was evading police on his motorcycle, and the helicopter was following him, and he was going at least 120, 130, they said, for mile after mile after mile, just dodging, weaving, and blowing the cops all behind. There's no way the cop car could keep up with that. And then eventually, the helicopter was going to run out of gas, so they had to cut the feed, and I think he got away, as far as I know.
Wow. Yeah. No, I didn't see this one, but I saw one, was it 2 days ago with the van? Did you see it? Where the guy runs out of the van?
Yes.
In his backpack. He was just too tired. He was too tired. He couldn't do anything.
I know. I think there's more of these because people are going crazy. The COVID has kept us all locked up. They got to get out there, hit their open road.
Can you guys see me?
Don't do it like this. Yeah, I can see you.
Okay.
Yeah, don't get your fresh air like this.
No, I'm just teasing Rick because when he in his younger youthful days, you're still young youthful to me, buddy. But
I don't know.
You had your moments on a motorcycle going a little bit fast, right?
Right.
Anything you want to share with the audience, or is that still anonymous?
The case still open, so
case still open.
Yeah, what's the statute of limitation on this?
Yeah, no, we had some good times going fast.
A little too fast.
One time going down pretty hard, and the rest of the times.
Ouch. Now, what does that feel like? How fast was that? How fast were you going that one?
95 when I flipped my bike.
And what were you wearing?
I was wearing a t-shirt and jeans and a helmet, of course. The helmet saved my life.
Of course.
And
oh my God.
Woke up in a ditch with a fire hydrant, water flying everywhere, construction poles thrown.
It's like the
fire hydrant had been knocked out already. That fire hydrant.
Yeah.
It wasn't Rick.
It wasn't knocked out by me.
No, you're there to investigate it, to check it out.
What a coincidence.
Dude, but okay, so you fall off at 90 miles an hour and your body slides for like yards and yards, right?
I was flipping. I didn't slide into the end. No, because I flipped the bike. So it was did like a awkward tailspin and then and I could hear the bike flying next to me. It was dark.
So it was that night. Oh, dude. Well, somebody was looking out for you that time, right? That's crazy. And the bike was totaled, or were you able to ride it away?
Totaled. Oh no, totaled. Smashed completely. And actually the funny part is I had blown the engine. I had to wait I don't know how long to get an engine from New Jersey to whatever. Yeah. Put it in, new one, and that was the day that I rode it again.
Man. It blew it up.
It took me one day to.
Wow. What's the shelf life of a motorcycle in Rick's hands? One day.
Jeez. One day.
I know.
All right. We'll move on from there because Rick's. It's ancient history now. Check this out. Talking about vehicles. A bus driver. Here's an article. Okay, these comes from our friends over at WorkComp Central. Hi, Kristen.
Hey, Kristen.
I have a 1 month subscription here. We'll see how this goes. if I renew. No, I'm kidding. I will. Okay, but over here on WorkComp Central, some cool news items in WorkComp industry. This is what we're doing today. So this article is bus driver charged after a video allegedly contradicts the description of the injury. So a bus driver for the Sacramento Regional Transit District was charged with 2 felony fraud counts after video footage allegedly contradicted her claims that a man repeatedly punched her with a closed fist. I mean, that's a pretty out there claim if it's not true, according to Intercare Holding Insurance Services. So Rona C. Means is the bus driver's name. She said she suffered an injury to her right shoulder and neck in an attack in July 2018. She said that a man in a wheelchair boarded her bus and that she secured the wheelchair using straps, right? I guess that's what you do. I don't know much about it, but it sounds reasonable, right? She says that she did not secure the front of the wheelchair because the passenger had exposed himself and she didn't want to reach across him. All right. So that's a little bit awkward situation there, right? Well, the man reportedly reached out to stop her from walking away without securing the front of the wheelchair, and Means, the bus driver, told him not to touch her. And then later, she filed a workers' compensation claim saying the man punched her repeatedly. So a big jump from him reaching out for her to not leave to him punching her repeatedly.
Yeah, it escalated quickly.
But you got to know, I mean, if you're the bus driver, don't you know there's cameras on that can verify or not your story? You know, it's so weird.
Yeah, I think, people once they commit to lying, they don't really think it through. I mean, when you try to commit insurance fraud, I don't think you actually thought it through to begin with.
Yeah. I mean, maybe you should realize the ramifications of something allegedly of this, because right now we don't know how it's all going to turn out. But so she filed workers' comp claim and for being punched repeatedly. So, but This is a quote. According to video obtained from the bus cameras, at no time does the video show the passenger repeatedly striking Means, Intercare Holdings said. In viewing the video, the treating doctor agreed that her right shoulder and neck complaints were not due to any work accident. So, anyway, she was arraigned on last Thursday. We'll see how all that turns out. But if you're on camera, I mean, you better be telling the truth, I think. You know?
Right, yeah.
Crazy. I used to want to be a bus driver. This is like
Really?
Weird. Yeah. I have
a rock star, a bus driver.
Yeah.
Rock star's bus driver.
I used to want to be a bus driver because when I was in high school, I had a cool bus driver, and he was a really cool dude. And he seemed like so chill. Like it was such a carefree job. I thought, you know, in my kid mind, just picking up and driving and dropping off, and then the rest of the day is free. You know, I don't know if it's really like that. Maybe it's not. Maybe
pretty cool.
Not with cameras. I don't know what he would say. They didn't have cameras in the 60s when I was on the bus. It was the 80s. That's where I tried to do my math. I'm trying to keep my story straight.
Yeah, of course.
Anyway, did you guys ever take the school bus to school?
Yeah.
Fond memories?
Had a lot of fun memories. A lot of friends I met.
Yeah.
Because of the bus, you know.
Yeah.
And it was cool.
I sit in the back. I would always sit in the back. You're cool in the back, and like you could have your own seat, stretch out, you know.
Yeah. No, we had good times. There was sometimes we would stop and we'd be like, fight. Those would like, everybody get off here. But I didn't have a cool bus driver like you did, Todd. So I moved on for those memories of wanting to be a bus driver.
Some of them, like, I guess I just like driving or something, because like one of my favorite jobs I've ever had was when I was a pizza delivery guy. I still love that job.
Really?
Yeah. Like if money was no object, you just do whatever you want, I'd probably just be a pizza delivery guy. Seriously, I love pizza. I like driving.
It's like Santa Claus. You're bringing joy to the house.
I love it. I mean,
no one's mad at the pizza guy. I
had the most unreliable car too. For some reason, I was convinced I needed an MG Midget, a 1978 MG Midget, which sounds cool. It looked cool. It was like those little sports cars from England, you know. Super unreliable. I was always under the hood working on it, and I had no money, so it was always in the shop, right? Or I was always on blocks trying to fix it. So I remember having to deliver pizzas in my mom's van, my mom's big giant camper van, because that was all I had. So I was like delivering pizzas in this RV, happy as can be. Just loved it. Just living there. Okay, let's move on. Here's another story. COVID claim count drops in January. So the number of COVID-19 claims filed in January fell from a record high set in December, the California Workers' Compensation Institute reported. So the data shows that, let's see, where are we? February 8th shows that, 14,718 comp claims for COVID were filed in January. And that's down from the 37,093 that were filed in December, but higher than totals for all other months except November, 15,000 claims. So it looks like total, and I wouldn't have known this answer. Would you guys have known that a total of 123,740, 123,000 cases have been filed since the pandemic started, including, including 640 death claims.
I was off by 2. I thought it was 123,738. So 2 off.
You're pretty close.
Good guess.
Almost there.
But even you're not perfect.
Yeah.
No, but that's
perfect mustache though.
So true. Yeah, every week we're gonna check in with that mustache.
Yeah.
I'll meditate. I have half of a can of wax, so once that's gone, it might be time for the mustache to go. But
the shave. Oh,
I'm committed so far.
We'll have to donate. We'll have to get a GoFundMe account for that mustache.
You know, it was funny too because my Gaston, he hadn't seen me in a while, and so right now I popped into his Zoom. He goes like, "Who is this?" So I take off my mask. And I'm like, "It's Jonathan." He was like, "Dude, nice mustache."
I know. I think we need Jonathan's mustache cam, like a live feed at all times.
For the progress.
For the progress. That would be cool. Look at that bad boy. Again, everybody on podcast land, you can't see that, but go to our YouTube page. You'll see it because we're recording this. So, okay, I don't know how much more of this I should read. Let's see. Any other data here that looks interesting to anybody? Let's see.
Denial rates vary sharply based on the industry. So.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So the overall denial rates vary sharply by industry, and that means, for example, the Institute said that the denial rate for public safety and government workers in November was 16.9%, almost 17%. In the same month, 71.5% of claims filed by transportation workers were denied. So a lot of it depends on how much exposure you have to the general public, I'm assuming. But total, so they aggregated them all together. You see, where was that number? Where was that number? Okay, yes. Taking a longer term perspective, the denial rate for COVID-19 claims across all industries during March, so from March 2020, when all this started, through last month, January 21, the denial rate has been 28.6%. So if that's right there. Okay. Let's move on. Here's a news story. Employer can set aside default in contract dispute with comp carrier. Okay, so as a non-attorney, I wasn't going to assume I knew what set aside default meant, right? So I pulled it up. I'm going to stop sharing, and then I'm going to share my browser screen because that's where I Googled it. Let's see, where? Google Chrome. You see that? Google Chrome?
Yeah, we see it.
Mm-hmm.
Default. So what does set aside default mean? Filing a motion to set aside a default judgment gives the defendant another chance to fix a mistake and move a case forward. So, but that doesn't necessarily mean the defendant wins. All the motion does is set back the clock.
Yeah, it's basically, because it was the judgment on the case was based off on inaction from the defendant. The defendant never answered or participated in any proceedings. So by default, there was a judgment that was made.
That's right. Yep. So think of this motion as a way to get the judge to review the case on instant replay. And so back to our story. Share the screen. Back to Acrobat. Okay. So what was the case on this one?
There was a lawsuit between the insurance company and the employer. It's saying that the employer had misrepresented some of the figures and the things and needed to get the workers' comp insurance coverage.
Right. Yes.
So they sue them over the premium and some other things. And because the defendant, the employer never answered any of the notices, the judge ruled, but it turned out that the sole owner of the corporation had been undergoing cancer treatment, which, proved excruciating circumstances as to why he was unable to, answer or reply to any of the notices or the court dates. And they also, I guess, they had the wrong address. So it was a couple of things. Obviously, it does prove that it wasn't necessarily bad faith on the side of the employer, but there was excruciating circumstances that made it, outside of his control, why he couldn't.
Yeah. So it was surprising to me because I always figured, man, if you've been served, you've been served. And there's no excuse, I was sick or I don't live there anymore. That's my old address would fly. Well, apparently in this instance, so this is the Employers Compensation Insurance Company versus Designer Studio, Inc. And Jonathan, you're right. It was Employers Compensation was suing Designer Studio because alleging it had made misrepresentations to procure coverage. Okay, so they had a beef with them. So they served the guy. They served the CEO at his listed place of a process server mailed copies of the complaint and summons to Lorenzo Bailiu, I think that's how you would say his name, Designer Studio's chief executive officer. He's the sole shareholder and designated agent for service of process. So in any business, there's a person that's listed as the agent for service of process, and their address. So they did that, left copies. The processor left copies of the complaint and summons at those addresses, and so they thought they were good. Well, the guy was battling cancer at the time and didn't even live there anymore. It was an old address, apparently not updated in the system. So he didn't show up for court, right? And when you don't show up for court, so Designer Studio did not respond to the complaint. So employers moved for an entry of default, and it was granted. A court clerk granted the request in April 2018. So he finds out about it. The owner of the company finds out about it, and he owes $38,000. So the bank takes it out of his account. So they get a judgment, and then all of a sudden $38,000 one day is missing from his account like that. And so that's when he woke up. It's like, what happened? And that's when it all unraveled. So fortunately for him, the court seems to have decided that because of this circumstances that you described, that they're able to set aside that default and now litigate the merits of the case. Kind of lucked out. I hope he's okay with cancer, of course, but we'll see what happens on that one. So kind of interesting. Next one. Hospital worker charged with 24 counts related to comp fraud. More fraud. A couple of fraud ones today. The bus one, now this hospital worker. So what happened was, this was in Bakersfield. A nursing assistant in Bakersfield faces 24 charges related to workers' compensation fraud after she allegedly lied to investigators about her injury, according to court records. So Ava McLean pleaded not guilty to all those charges, including providing false insurance information, hiding facts of insurance entitlement benefits, and presenting a false claim in Kern County. So this stuff goes on all the time. I mean, these are just the ones that are found and that I had time to pull, but unfortunately it happens all the time. And of course, she surrendered to authorities and was released on $75,000 bond. So she's not guilty of this. She's innocent until proven guilty, but it's rampant.
And as a matter of fact, anyone that we talked about is innocent until proven guilty.
100%.
That was a whole
These are all alleged allegations only, merely.
Allegedly.
I'm reading, that's why I'm trying to read it verbatim, not trying to insert words into the legal system's mouth. But, okay, so.
She's guilty.
Well, hopefully not. Hopefully it's all a big misunderstanding.
Yeah.
Let's go with that. There's another one, though.
This next one is very interesting, too.
Pharmacy owner pleads guilty. So this one is different. This is no longer alleged. They pled guilty to conspiracy. So what happened was the owner of a compounding pharmacy, what is that? What's a compounding pharmacy where they actually compound the stuff and grind them up?
Yeah, so they actually create like their mixtures of the medicine. So it's not like, you get prescribed ibuprofen 800 milligrams. It's like they'll create a compound with like Tylenol, ibuprofen, and something else, and it's like a custom-made drug just for you.
Oh, wow.
I didn't know that. How does JD always knows something? He knows. He always knows the answer.
I remember I went to a seminar. It might have been the San Bernardino district attorney, and this is what they were fighting. There was a lot of compound pharmacy fraud.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
This guy. Yeah.
So like a pharmacy like CVS is not going to be a compounding pharmacy. They don't compound them?
No, because all they make is what the labs send them. So like whatever, like the drug manufacturers,
a sealed product in a box. Here, sell this.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Versus
the pharmaceutical companies,
custom mixture. Okay, all right. So the owner of one of those compounding pharmacy in LA pled guilty to conspiring to commit healthcare fraud and paying kickbacks to the U.S. Attorney General Office for Central California. Let's see. He pled guilty on behalf of his business, Fusion RX Compounding Pharmacy. So in their plea agreement, Naveed Vahedi, and Fusion RX admitted routing millions of dollars in kickback payments through the business of two marketers. So the two marketers steered prescriptions for compounded drugs to Fusion RX. And this is what I thought was really interesting is as part of the scheme, Vahedi and the two marketers provided physicians with pre-printed prescription script pads. So little pads printed up, right? And what they said, what they wrote on there was they offered a check the box options on the form to maximize the amount of insurance reimbursement for the compounded drugs. So trying to be clever, they thought it may make it easy, just like check here to buy our. Apparently that was sort of a scheme and then shouldn't have been doing that.
Yeah. This is
look how much he made.
I know. Look at it.
14 million.
Breaking news. It's live feedback from the actual arrest.
That's the Uber picking him up.
Uber.
So they were paid about $14 million for those compound drugs between for a couple of years. And so he was sentenced. Let's see, how much did he get?
He hasn't been sentenced yet. It's up to 5 years.
You're right. He's scheduled to be sentenced in a few months. He faces maximum sentence of 5 years in federal prison. And he's agreed to pay $4 million back.
Yeah,
made $14 million.
Yeah, and he still pocketed $9 million. Look at that.
Somewhere there's another $9 million missing. That it's it's probably in
business expenses.
Bitcoin. It's in a crypto wallet.
Yeah.
Wow. Anyway, okay, so I guess note to self: let's stay on the right side of the law.
Right.
Best we can, everybody.
Otherwise, let's see if this sound comes through. It's a prison cell closing.
Oh, man.
Hey, we should do that. We should do that, Todd, for the attorneys to make them slips. Just check here for court reporter.
I thought you said get into the compound pharmacy business.
Oh yeah.
I know two great marketers.
Yeah. There you go, Todd. That's all you need, two marketers.
That's right. I got those two already. We're just gonna need the slips printed up.
Pocket millions.
Wow. Well, lots going on. Super grateful for everybody listening and tuning in. If you guys need some CEU credits, we have a
register. I'm going to put out 5 more spots right now.
Just for you. Just for you.
For the first 5. For the first 5 only.
I know.
But wait, if you sign up right now, we'll let you bring a friend for free.
That's right.
Yeah.
I love the faux urgency. It's like the fake scarcity. Like we no, but we have over. Should we say how many people we've pre-registered for this?
Yes.
Let that out. Okay, what's the exact amount as of we speak right now? So we're recording this Thursday, February 18th, 2021. If you refresh the page.
I'm pulling it up right now so we get the fresh numbers.
Okay.
Wow, guys.
What?
We have 9 people. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, we're almost in the double digits.
Yes. And there's 4 of us, so that's including us.
We're 4 of them, yeah.
We like to keep it intimate. No, actually, okay, kidding aside, we have 246 people signed up.
Whoa.
Awesome.
That's unbelievable. That's about 23 more than you told me about an hour ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we started this podcast.
246. I'm going to write that down. That's a good number. That's got to be our record. That's got to be our record.
Yeah, for sure it is.
For webinar. Yeah.
For our COVID, our COVID webinars.
Mm-hmm.
Not in person.
246? Dang, dude. That's amazing. Wow. It better be good.
Yeah.
Just kidding. It'll be good. It'll be good. Trust us. We've done this. We're professionals.
I know. Maybe we need to bump out that Grubhub gift card from $5 to maybe like $7.99.
I know. Bump it up. No, hey, we're going to randomize the picking of the winner for the prizing.
It's always random, Todd.
I know. We're going to show.
We're going to have a wheel. We're going to have a wheel.
We're going to show the process this time.
Yeah.
Live.
Yes.
So
yes, we will.
That's true. Okay. Is that true? Okay, good.
It is true that we always randomize it, but it is also true that this time it will be a live raffle, so you'll be able to see the wheel happening.
That's what I'm talking about. I love it.
It'll be awesome.
Yes.
I'm excited with our host, our presenter.
We might need to
Jim.
start getting legal counsel for this podcast.
I have it cleared with our attorneys.
On the description, don't mind all the legal disclaimers.
Yeah. Sign this document first. It's a waiver for any indemnity. Okay, well, that's all I got. You guys got anything else?
That's it.
Oh,
Thank
we're
you,
excited about
y'all.
this event.
Okay. Oh, nice
Me and
view.
Peco Park. Can you see Peco Park?
Wow.
I love
Yeah.
it.
Oh, everybody stand.
Yeah, everybody got to go check out our YouTube page because that's a beautiful view. I love
I
it.
can see the ocean in my house from here. I'm just kidding, just the ocean.
I can see the twinkle in your eyes.
Beautiful.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.